Hello, this is Zargi from Zargi Studios, and this is course number 8 for the GameMaker University. This tutorial will go over some advanced particle techniques, and we'll be building upon the last tutorial. I should announce a few things first. First, I would like to thank all of my subscribers, both old and new, and the new ones that have subscribed since my last video, and the creation of this one: Batboy188, Ramin, Dara, Bale Bullet, Scoops312, Nice09, Brad, Grew, I'm not sure, and Alex Brown and Ket CS. Tell me if I pronounced any of those wrong. Thank you. And second, the file upload for the last tutorial. I sort of somehow lost the tutorial's files. I lost the project for some reason. I couldn't find it, so that's why the file upload is late. And also this week I'm taking a very long class each day until the weekend, so that's also why. This tutorial will cover a few different topics. Some of these things will work well with both GameMaker 8.1 and Studio, but some of them will only really be useful or work in Studio, and I'll try to tell you when those come up. Second, some of the advanced types of techniques in this tutorial should only be used for games for large projects and not smaller games. So there's probably not going to have much use for some of the things I'm going to talk about if you're making a small arcade game where you never change rooms or never really change the view at all. But still, some of them are going to be useful. It just depends on the size of your project. And finally, before we begin, I would like to remind everyone to comment on a video or message if you have a question or an idea for me to do a video, or if you've made a creation with GameMaker and you have a video of it and you used one of my tutorials. That would be cool. Or if you just made a cool creation with GameMaker, send a video to me. And I might even, if I think it's good, I might feature it. Because there don't really seem to be a whole lot of videos out there of stuff made with GameMaker these days. With that, let's go ahead and get on to the tutorial. Okay, so when last we left off, I was trying to make, before we begin on our more advanced topics, I was trying to make multiple emitters work in a room, and I've thought through it, and I think I've got a solution. Because every emitter is trying to create the system, and I'm sorry that it's going really slow right now. It's probably just because I'm trying to record it, and I might try to close some things. I don't know. We'll have to see. But it's creating a system right here. But it's for every one of these instances, it will try to create a new system, and I think that's where it's messing up. And also, we do need to wait for it to save. Come on, pause. Okay, well, it should work better now. I actually had the game or smoke dimmer running in the background, so that did take up a bit of my processing power and made it laggy. So the first thing we're going to do that will help us along the way, and it's... Okay, that's not good. Sorry about that if it skipped. First thing we're going to do is go into our particle smoke declaration, and where we see the global, we're going to take that off, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. So we're going to find .global part smoke, and then replace it with just part smoke. And that will make it a local variable to the object that calls it. And that's actually very And that's actually a very good idea, because that means we can call it as many times as we want in different objects. And it'll create a separate type in a local variable that is only owned by this object, even though it will have the same name as other objects. So we have to also go in here and take off the global in the emitter right here. And another thing that I forgot to tell y'all, which is pretty cool, is instead of using part emitter burst, you can go in the create event of a emitter. If you want to stream constantly, you can do part emitter stream. And let me just check that all these are right. Yes, they are. Essentially, this will tell it to stream this number every step automatically, so we don't have to put it in the step event down there. And I did forget to tell you guys that last time when I meant to. So let's see, what does this do? Let's see, does this work? And I was creating a controller. Says persistent and create event. Take this global system thing out of here. And in the controller, not in the create event, but in the game start event, we put this right here. Global system equals part system create. This means that when the game starts, this will be defined as a global variable, so we don't have to worry about the global system being defined each time in the smoke object. And go ahead and put the controller in the room. Sure that the controller is selected. Okay, so we have two of these objects. They should work now. Let's see. I might have this wrong. I'm doing this part on the fly here. Oops. That's not right. Okay. Okay, give me a sec to debug this. Okay, I got it to work now, and GM crashed on me for some reason. So, wait, why did it do that? Come on. It was just working. Why? Oh. Yeah, that's not good that I did that. Let me place this back. So I've got working with multiple emitters with this system, and I don't want to take too much time with this, but as we can see, there's multiple emitters. And I'm going to change this back in one moment. But let's go ahead and add another feature to this. So instead of having it set this variable part smoke to just a variable for the object, let's have no. There we go. It a local script variable. And then let's have it return that variable to the object when it runs. So that means that we can easily do just this. And this is actually pretty cool, although it might not look like it if you're not familiar with what we can do with this. So basically, what we're doing here is we're creating an entirely new type for every different instance. And as we can see here, it looks the same as before, and it's still laggy. But as we can see, there's 3 emitters here, and each one of them actually has. Each one of them actually now has its own type defined. That's basically a copy of this central template, I would say. And we can actually do quite a bit with this. For instance, let's see. For instance, let's go to the, not room 1. Let's go to the creation code of this one, and this should work. Part type color. Let's just set a color for this one. And this means that we can dynamically change the type of the particle of a certain instance for each individual instance. And that's actually very powerful if you think about that, because it opens a new range of possibilities for the level. We could set directions of one to like going this way, and directions on another going to this way, and it really opens up a whole lot of new possibilities. So set that one to C red, and if we run, if I did it right, there, see, now that one is red. And just to keep this going here, copy the one from here. You can actually highlight objects with creation code in the editor. That's a nice feature. And put one here, and let's edit them. Red, green, and blue. Red, green, and blue. Now that should look pretty cool. Okay, actually, let me fiddle around with something real quick. Also, before we get into some really advanced stuff, here's another cool feature, or command for particle types, part type blend. And anyone who knows what blend modes are will probably know what this is. Now this may lag quite a bit, so I'm going to turn this down. And as we see, we now have glowing smoke. This is basically applying a blend mode to additive, an additive blend mode, which makes it just makes stuff brighter, essentially, if it's over something, and it glows like this, and that could make a pretty cool glowing effect for something if you wanted. But for now, I'll take it out. Okay, so this is pretty cool. We can set the some individual particle settings through the creation code here, but what if we wanted to dynamically change it through user input within the game or through input from other objects? Now you might think just put it in the step event, and that would indeed work, except the problem is, if we go back to our original code here, the problem is we have a whole lot, and let me just get up the help here real quick. We have a whole lot of different types of commands that control the same attributes, but they're different. They have different arguments, and they do different. They make it behave differently. But color, for instance, well, if we go to the step command, if we go to the step event and we wanted to change the color of it on the fly through some user input, well, how would we know if we in the original particle settings, how would we know if we chose color, hue, saturation, value, or RGB, or one of the three other color things? How would we know that? Because there's no particle type get set functions anywhere. You can't get the settings of a particle, unfortunately. Which would be a nice feature, by the way, Yo-Yo Games. If you're listening, that would be a great feature. It would make a lot of this stuff a whole lot easier, actually. But anyway, so we can't get the settings of these. So essentially, what we're going to have to do is set up some configuration variables to tell us what we've configured these settings, these different things are as. We'll need one for the alpha. There's alpha 1, alpha 2, and alpha 3. And of course, there's also not saying the alpha. We'll need one for the shape or for the image type, because you can set a particle as a shape or a sprite. And we will need one for the color, because you could set it as red, blue, green, hue, saturation, value. Let me just check. There's about you can set as a mix, and you can set as 1, 2, or 3, of course. So those are the 3 big things that we need to focus on, and we'll get to that in the next part. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is define some constants for this. Now, I've already saved the constants that we need in a separate file from my main project. So let me just get that up real quick. We're going to use constants because if you don't know, they're good for defining defining just variables. Actually, some of you might not know what a constant is, so I'll tell you. A constant is Let me get rid of those. A constant is basically just a global variable that you can't change in any way, as in it's constant. It doesn't change. This is good for defining some things like this where you need to name certain numbers. Because if you just type like PCF, particle configure is what that stands for, by the way, PCF alpha, then that's technically a variable name. That's not an actual value. So it won't work in something like an array, which we are going to use. So you can essentially assign PCF alpha a value of 1, PCF ID a value of 0. And that's pretty good. These 4 PCF variables are going to be the main different things to go in our arrays. ID is 0. That's the ID that gets assigned when the type is made. Alpha is 1. Image type is 2. And color is 3. Then we have all these different configure options. And there's not actually a whole bunch of these. They're just there's a few to denote the alpha, the shape, and the color. Okay, so I also have a script that I need to import. One moment. Okay, here we go. This is a part type config set. And basically what this does is it takes in an array. It takes in an array, which is argument. One sec. Actually, that needs to be yeah, it takes in the ID as an array. This is going our array is defined as ID, and it stores it in that variable. Then it takes these 3, the 3, and actually let me type this out here. I should have. Let's see, ID alpha color and image type. And let me expand this so you can see. Okay, so that's pretty easy to understand. Then it changes the values of the array to the settings we have. So this is just a simple script to help us with this. And actually over here in my main thing, I have this whole block of comments that explains. And let me just copy that over real quick over to here. And as we can see, this is pretty big, but it does explain accurately the all the different settings we have, and explains which ones to use. And you are going to have to set these manually for the each different type of particle that you create, but it's a whole lot easier than the alternative, which would be to it's a whole lot easier than the alternative, essentially. So to use this function, we just go part type config set, and the ID for this, it's going to have to be part smoke, and part smoke needs to be set as this, which is going to be PCF ID, which is essentially this constant stands for 0. So think of 0 as being there, but it's a name, so we remember it better. So PCF ID part smoke, and we just copy this value, copy this what's in this array to over here. That's the first, and that's the ID that we got when the particle was type was created. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I'm a bit tired, you could say. So the first one is obviously alpha. For this one, we have alpha 3 because we're using alpha 3. And also note that, one sec, I forgot to set these up. There's no alpha. Let me just fix this real quick because I'm going to be thinking about it all night. There we go. No alpha, of course, if we didn't set any alpha for the particle, which you probably will do in some cases. And maximize it so we can see the bottom, of course. Pecond. And the nice thing about this is when you type in pecond, you get you get a nice list where you can just simply choose. Excuse me. And pecond, we have a sprite, so sometimes it doesn't work for some reason. Come on. Pecond sprite, not pdcon, pecond. Pecond color, of course, we're setting it to, I think, one color or whatever we're setting it to. What are we setting it to? Color. We're setting it to hue saturation value. Hue saturation value. There we go. And another important thing that I just thought of actually is if you add a custom instance data to one of these, you're also going to have to update the configures. So later on, when we add an update script for the emitter object, you're going to have to update these to reflect what you've changed in here. If you've changed any of these, of course. But this is just, this will work for now. And note that we're also going to have to replace all of these part smoke variables real quickly. Take the word part smoke, whole word only, I think. Okay. Place all, and then of course we had Control Z, copy, place all. Now, of course, we're going to have to take out these double instances real quick here. Let's see, that's not it. Don't need that one right there. We don't even need a variable if it's an array, of course. So, and take this one out as well. Okay, there we go. That's pretty much all that's, and take this one out. That's pretty much all you need for a init, a particle init script. In the file that I upload, and I will get it uploaded this time. You have these. You'll have to play around with an experiment if you want to work with different particles, but. Now, what we need to do is simply switch this just around just a bit. So part smoke is now an array in this system we have here. So let's PF, I think. What was it? PT underscore. I can't remember the constant. What was the constant? PCF, of course. Particle configuration. PCF ID. And just use that when referring to the ID of the particle that you created. So this should work. If it doesn't, see what it does. Now, it hasn't changed in its appearance, but it's now running pretty much all under the hood. All under the hood, it's running with this new type of system, this new method we're using. And that's pretty good. Now, as it stands, I haven't really written the update step script yet, unfortunately. So I don't have that yet. I don't have it because I've been very busy today, unfortunately. So I'm afraid you'll have to wait to part 3 of this. I'm going to extend it to part 3, and we're almost already at 30 minutes anyway. Just one thing else. Let's see. Let's see. One thing before I go, I'm going to make it so you can use these options up here. And this is only for Studio, by the way. I'll make it so you can use these options up here to choose how your emitter emits. And that's actually very cool because it allows you to edit more cleanly. You don't have to fool around with creation code all the time. So yeah, that's pretty cool. This has been Zargi again. I thank you very much. If you decide to subscribe or even just a liking helps. And also remember to comment or message if you have an idea, question, or creation. Yeah, thank you very much. Share it with your friends who are maybe interested in game programming. I'll be back hopefully soon next time. I'm not sure how much I'll get done tomorrow, but I will try. And I haven't I was going to try to be better about being a bit more methodical and actually saying stuff well, but I guess I didn't really do that well this episode either. It's just honestly who I am, but I do like doing this either way. So I'll see you again. Bye.